Okay guys, we are moving on to another recipe today. I've done 3 so far, so I want to get them done before the weekend. So we're going to doing the quick and easy garlic mashed potatoes. I think I do have one version of it online already. This is another version. This is a more creamier version, more of a mashed, like not so chunky. So you can make it chunky, it's just a different version. You can add more or less of the broth if that's the case. So first thing we're going to do is do our potatoes. I have 1 pound of the mixed medley potatoes, whole, with the skin on. You can do Yukon potatoes, just cut them in half, and skin on is fine. I happen to like the skin. I think most of the nutrients are in the skin, so I just rinse those really well. And that's 1 pound of the medley right in there. We are also gonna put 1.5 cups of chicken broth, as well as 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. All right, once you added your chicken broth and your minced garlic, you can go ahead and give that a quick mix just to get the garlic all, coated on the potatoes. The potatoes will lay flat just like that. Oh, wait, like that. With a little bit of the broth on top, you're gonna go ahead and close it up. Make sure your vent is placed to seal. You're gonna put it on high pressure for 15 minutes. Once that beeps, you're gonna go ahead and quick release, and we'll move on to the next portion of the recipe. All right, guys, my Instant Pot beeped. I went ahead and I let out all the air, did a quick release on it, and the potatoes are whole now, but the minute that you start mashing, they'll start to break up very easily. Now, I don't have a potato masher, so I'm gonna use the closest thing to it. So you're just gonna go ahead and start mashing it away. You're gonna see that it's super soupy at first, but as you keep mashing your potatoes, it'll start to get on the thicker side. So go ahead and mash all your potatoes, including the skin. And once you're done with that, we'll move on to the next part of the recipe. All right, once all your potatoes are mashed away, we're gonna add a few ingredients in here to give it the final taste. I put everything aside so I don't have to worry about it later. In here, it's a 1/4 block of cream cheese, a tablespoon of butter, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of garlic salt. So we're gonna go ahead and add that all to the mix, and we are gonna mix it completely through until it becomes more of a creamy substance. If it does not become more of a creamy substance, that means that you used more potatoes than you should have. No big deal. You can either add butter, some broth to make it smoother or creamier. Immediately you start to see that my garlic mash is starting to smooth out. Go ahead and make sure you wait till all that cream cheese and butter is melted before you decide to do a taste test. Now, if you're not a fan of the skin, then I do recommend you just getting Yukon potatoes, peeling them, and doing it without the skin, if that's the case. I happen to like the skin. I think it gives it a better taste. In my mind, it does. If not, use the larger Yukon potatoes, slice them in half, do the same exact thing with the broth and everything else. All it is you're not using the skin in this case. All right, it looks like all my butter and all my cream cheese has melted, and we're gonna give it a taste test just to make sure it's good in salt. Delicious, so good, guys. My daughter wants to go to sleep, so I'm gonna keep this in here on warm setting until Oscar gets home. If by any chance you're gonna eat this later, and it becomes really hard, you can add a little bit of half and half. I like to do that, warmed up, and put it on saute mode again, or just put on heat mode, and it'll cream itself up again. So if you're gonna eat this later, like I am, you can go ahead and have some milk or some half and half, whatever you think is gonna make it a little bit creamier, and it'll go back to the creamy consistency. All right, guys, if you have any questions, as usual, DM me. Thanks, bye.